Hello and welcome everybody to a brand new video on the channel. As you may be able to tell by the title, thumbnail, and what's going on in the background, we are going to be talking about Fallout today. Though, not Fallout specifically in terms of a game, but more so my complicated relationship with this game franchise. So without any further ado, let's get into it.
Wow, now look at me, man. I'm hella cool. Alexa, play death metal.
Cruising down the street in my 64. Gonna call.
There's a shit ton of game put in there.
So let me start at the beginning, or about as close to the beginning as I possibly can. This story really begins, give or take, about a decade and a half ago. So in about the year 2013, my best friend, Dagger152, got himself an Xbox 360. And with that Xbox 360, eventually he got himself a copy of Fallout New Vegas. And this is where the trouble, at least for me, began. It was around that time after he started playing Fallout New Vegas that he really began to start asking me pretty consistently, like, "Hey, do you want to play Fallout? You want to try Fallout New Vegas?" That sort of shit. And this would continue on in a certain friend group for about a decade, give or take. And I've got to be completely honest, it was fucking rough. At least for me. Eventually, I relented and I decided to play Fallout New Vegas for myself, and within about 30 minutes, I completely gave up on the game. The reason why was because my first companion, who was a dog, had gotten killed at some point on the lowest difficulty in the game. So you can understand my frustration with the game, especially considering how shit the mechanics are at that point in time in comparison to other games that were around at the time. Like, here's the thing, me personally, I have no problem whatsoever with games that are brutal and punishing to the player. I absolutely love Far Cry 2. It is an amazing game. This was just not it for me. So in about 2023, I got myself a copy of Fallout 4 on disc. And the reason why was because I felt that it was my duty, you could say, to play the Fallout games aside from New Vegas just to see if I had really well and truly given the franchise a fair shake. And rather than actually playing Fallout 4 to begin with, instead I played Fallout 3. And the reason why is because Fallout 3 took up significantly less space, and I didn't have to wait several days for it to fully download onto my Xbox. And I've got to say, playing Fallout 3 for the first time, absolutely zero context behind it because none of my friends in that friend circle had ever talked about Fallout 3 before. I had quite a bit of fun with it, and I'm still having quite a bit of fun with it. I even decided to go out of my way and purchase some of the DLC for Fallout 3. Specifically, Operation Anchorage, because I had heard online that it was a very fun DLC, and going in and actually playing it myself, yeah, it actually was quite fun, especially getting to fight alongside the Brotherhood outcasts that were shown in that DLC. It was honestly really, really fun, at least for me personally. Though, of course, I decided to then actually start playing a bit of Fallout 4, specifically because at the point in time that I had decided for sure that I was going to play Fallout 4, I had decided to get rid of Far Cry 5 from my Xbox because I had already wrapped up the footage gathering phase of the AKs in video games video that I wanted to do. And I'm still working on, by the way, don't worry. Now, I tried Fallout 4 in about 2024 when I realized that it was available for free on Game Pass, so I spent like a good $10 or so on a disc copy of the game for no fucking reason. Lesson learned, check before you buy. Anyways, Fallout 4, mechanically speaking, is the game that I actually had always wanted from the start. Rather than an RPG disguised as a shooter, It is instead a pretty competent shooter that also happens to be an RPG. It has quite a few of the same features that you'd expect out of shooter games in about 2013. The ability to sprint, for example, the ability to aim down sights and those sights actually being decent, and in addition to that, at least for using scoped weapons specifically, complying to the conventions that were standard for the time when it comes to using scoped weapons. And aside from that, combat actually does feel somewhat fluid, relatively speaking. Though, of course, the game isn't perfect. No game is ever truly perfect, and Fallout 4 especially is riddled with errors. One particularly infamous error specifically that pretty much everyone has commented on from the day since it released all the way up into today is that Bethesda does not know how to make shadows work in their game. So downtown Boston specifically is the absolute worst place to be, because on any system that you are even thinking about running Fallout 4 in, if you don't have a mod installed for it, then you are going to have your game crash repeatedly in downtown Boston. Back to the beginning now, at Fallout New Vegas. So, after all of this time, what do I think of these games? They are incredibly flawed, but they have their audience. I'm not that intended audience. Simple as that. If I'm being completely honest, I really only started learning a bit about the Fallout lore, specifically so that I could communicate with the people who come into my job every single day. Because every single day, there is at least 7 Fallout fans who come through. And for me personally, I just don't like, nor do I particularly care for the Fallout franchise as a whole. But realistically speaking, that's not entirely something that really should be surprising to people, especially considering what my favorite games are: the Far Cry games, specifically Far Cry 2, and the Crysis games, specifically Crysis 2. In the end, it's just a matter of taste and personal preference, and I hope that we all can understand each other just a little bit better when it comes to our personal preferences. Anyways, aside from all of that relatively heavy shit, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of it. And with all of that out of the way, it's time for me to get some sleep. Y'all have a good night.